Let's move on to the Nutrien division. Of course, the one returning division from last season. The Nutrien division, and we'll start with the Humboldt Broncos. I think that this team is going to be really interesting this year. Obviously, Braden Klamosko having a chance to kind of settle in after the craziness of his changeover last year. They were at 28, 22, 3-3 last year, 62 points, ending in 7th place in the league. It seemed like a pretty strong team, but they couldn't ever put it all together consistently, it seemed like last year. So this year, what kind of team are we going to see this year? They had 204 goals last year, 32 goal plus 32 goal differential, Nugsy. A couple of really key returning players that I think could set this league on fire. But what do you see when you talk about the Humboldt Broncos right now?
Well, I mean, I think I can think of 3 really key returning players for Humboldt.
More than 2,
so which of the two of the 3? Obviously, Jacob Streetsy. We had 71 points last year. We finished 3rd in scoring in the league last year, and he's back. He averaged 3 points per game and 3 goals per game, in the preseason. 2 hat tricks in 2 games. Not too bad, Mr. Streetsy, who I call Striz Nasty. Obviously, Connor Miller coming back from the Vancouver Giants. That is huge. And obviously, Oakley McElwain on the back end. But there's pieces to love all over this Humboldt team. They need to come together better, maybe, as a unit than they did last year. Because I feel like they're watching that Humboldt team last year. The cohesion was a little bit off. But there's definitely 0 excuses. And Braden Klamosko, their head coach and GM, this is, a year where he can really put a stamp on it. Last year was a transitional year from Scott Barney to him, and so people were like, is this Scott Barney's team? Is it Braden Klamosko's team? This year, it's now Braden Klamosko's team. And in terms of weight, of expectation, of talent, there's no excuses for this Humboldt Broncos team. They have all of it. And who in this league, as a coach, recently has experience having a team that with that type of expectation coming into a year? It's Braden Klamosko, when he did with that Battleford's team a couple of years ago. So, hey, he knows how to keep that engine going for a good hockey team. This is a good hockey team. Go have fun at the EPA because it's going to be a fun year.
It's going to be a fun year, I think, for sure there. One thing that is big for them, obviously, they made the news last year at the trade deadline. They made the Daza Mitchell trade last year to bring in Daza. Their goaltending situation now is a little bit up in the air. Do you have any news on who they might look forward to in terms of who they might have in net?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Jackson Tritt is the more veteran goalie, and obviously another Kotai in the league.
Another Kotai.
Nick Kotai, Josh Kotai, and Riley Kotai's brother in the league now as well for Humboldt. So good to see the Kotai family keep coming back to the SJ.
Good track record there.
Good track record. They both have worked out great. I would say.
Third time's an even charm.
Third time's a great charm.
Who knows?
So, we'll see. Obviously, Tritt, I think, should get the start right away, being the older guy. And, the younger Cote is just an 07. So, we'll see. But there's a lot to like in front of them. So they'll be well fortified, and it's on them to show that they're good. But if there's one area of this team we don't know, I guess maybe that
would be the big question mark. I think going into the year. Who was a new guy though that you are looking forward to? Maybe it's one of the goalies. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess I could easily say Christian LaSalle, who they just got from the Regina Pats, which I think obviously was a point per game player in AAA. It didn't really quite work out with the Pats. It was a tough year with the Pats overall last year. But I'm actually going to say Carson Croteau, 2A D-man. They're really high on him. Obviously, again, they've got lots of good D-men back. Obviously, we didn't mention Ryder Knutson or Tegan Semchishin, et cetera, et cetera. They got Simon Garchinsky back as well. He should be a good piece. But Carson Croteau had a great preseason, so I'm kind of going on that. Great 2A defenseman with a lot of skills, too. So LaSalle and Croteau are my 2 guys to watch.
Yeah, I think for returning players, I think it would be easy to say Jacob Streetsy, who I think could be an MVP candidate. I think it would be easy to say Oakley McElwain, who I think is going to be the Defenseman of the Year candidate, or at least one of the candidates. But I'm going to go with Jeter Cordy. I think he's entering his 4th season now. He had 24 points in 30 games last year, but he's never had a full season. He's always had health issues. And he's only played 70 career games in 3 seasons, over the course of 3 seasons. So entering his 4th season now, fingers crossed he's feeling good. I'm hoping so much that he can stick around and be that possible glue guy for this team. I think he's a huge piece of the puzzle. So fingers crossed there. And I think the sky's the limit, I think, for production, especially if he's going to be, I saw him a few times in the preseason beside Jacob Streetsy. I think if the 2 of them can stay together, I think that's just a recipe for a lot of production there.
Congratulations, just in general, to the Cordy family. Obviously, his little sister making a big name for herself with Team Canada and Hockey Canada, getting her opportunities there. And obviously, whenever a Saskatchewan boy or girl, man or woman, does something, we're all proud. So really cool for the Cordy family.
Definitely. So I'm cheering for Jeter Cordy this year. I'll say it, and I think he could be, like I said, a huge piece for this team. So he's my returning player to watch.